You are listening to Practical and Woo by Mindset and Manifest. My name is Eden, and I invite you to embark on a journey with me to explore the practical and spiritual edges of the unknown for the purpose of allowing you to embody and empower yourself uniquely as you are, and to intentionally create and live a life of freedom and fulfillment. Each week, I'm going to discuss topics such as energetics, reality creation, manifestation, astrology, tarot, human design, and more to help empower you to live beyond perceived limitations and to practically design your life so it feels like absolute magic every step of the way. Let's dive in. Well, hello, darling soul. If you are joining us once again, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome to Practical and Woo. I am so happy to have you here, part of a community of people who at their core know that practical magic is accessible, that there is more to life than the shoulds, and that having and creating a fulfilling life is possible. For today's discussion, I am feeling called to ask you a question. Have you ever wondered why you're doing something? Or noticed the transferable skills behind the things or experiences you continually find yourself called to do? Have you truly taken the time to drop into the philosophical contemplation of your purpose? Why do I do what I do? Why do I give the advice I give? Have you noticed the theme, trend, or pattern of key moments in your life? Perhaps ones that have sparked the instinct within you. I meant to do that, or I meant to be doing this. It's really interesting to take the time to retroactively review and reflect on your personal collection of experiences. For me, how many times have I tried to avoid blending spirituality and esoteric modalities into my work? So many. Mostly out of fear of judgment and a self inflicted worry that I might be ostracized and burned at the stake for professing unseen mystical topics. And yet, here we are. I'm hosting a podcast that literally has woo in the title, as in woo woo. It keeps pulling me like a magnet, like how Tafiti pulls Moana to the edge of the water. I thought it may be interesting to let you know how I got here, to the 17th episode of a mystically yet practically focused podcast with you. To understand the here and now of my journey, it is integral to understand where my journey began. And no, I'm not about to dive into me emerging from my mother on the day of my birth. The journey I speak of is a defining point in my life when I took a stand for myself in opposition to a civil war that was occurring in my own mind, leaving me on the other side with the title Reformed Pessimist, which is an important distinction from optimist because a reformed pessimist is someone who understands the experience of the whole spectrum and is not naturally gifted at seeing the silver lining of things. A title that allows me to help others navigate the spectrum as well. A little over a decade ago, I felt severely depressed. And though I never received a clinical label or diagnosis, because I never sought one out, the feelings I was feeling were undeniably heavy. Intrusive thoughts of how I would leave this earth constantly bombarding my mind space, feeling low, numb, dejected, jealous, bitter, resentful, feeling prideful for a moment, and then knocked into the cycle of despair once again. All of this masked with a smile. I remember a security guard of the building I was living in once telling me that I was the happiest person he knew. Oh, how a toothy smile could deceive, could lie about the inner experience. It got to a point where my family intervened and I sought out therapy for the first time. More accurately, I was sent to therapy and I was resistant. At this time, therapy wasn't as widely discussed or even casually talked about in the way it's beginning to be today. And I felt petrified of feeling even more othered than I was already feeling. And somehow I went. While talk therapy wasn't a right fit for me to continue, the first couple of sessions taught me the value of getting out your feelings. I recall myself mentioning things and then being able to see the patterns of my experience so clearly, to be able to speak my truth freely without being interrupted or told that I was wrong. Oh, this is why I feel this way. The clarity offered a taste of freedom, a new tool unlocked. A few months later, I was experiencing a relapse. I was no longer seeing the talk therapist, and I didn't have any external professional support to rely upon. I was masterful at hiding my feelings, and so it was just me, myself, and I at the time. I remember sitting on my bed in my childhood home with my computer on my lap, staring at my desktop without any clue of what I should be doing to, at the very least, distract myself from my experience. My eyes zeroed in on the pages icon on the dock of my MacBook. Something about the icon called to me, the pen mingling with the paper. I opened up a blank document and began to type. With momentum and veracity, everything I was vaulting inside flowing out of me in a stream of consciousness. A journal entry I titled, "The Truth Comes Out." My very first journal entry ever. I want to read this journal entry to you. And yes, this feels incredibly vulnerable and yet also important. This post from 2011 holds a reflection of the purpose that continues to find me, call me, urge me to pursue. Clues established in a time when I was feeling my most lost and most confused. Clues to a life path that continues to unfold even a decade later when I feel like an expanded and more fulfilled version of myself who is also continuing to grow and expand every single day. There is an imprint of the time I wrote this entry left on me, an imprint that is contrasting to my dominant feeling state these days. And yet, something in me at the time had the wherewithal to affirm my purpose. This is what the entry says. Dear life, there is something that I have always wanted to tell you, something that I have always wanted you to know. You are hard. You are harshly impossible to deal with, and you drive me absolutely crazy. Sometimes I wonder whether or not you are worth it. I wonder if you are worth the pain, the heartache, the responsibility. Then, when it suddenly comes down to the deciding factor, the streaming, wet, salty tears glide endlessly down my face, and I realize that there is a little golden nugget of hope inside of me. A nugget of strength, a nugget of survival. You will never defeat me. I am courageous and willing, and I am able to fight with you until the end. I will get what I need, and I will get what I deserve, because you can no longer tangle me up inside your web. You can no longer suffocate me with your dark and dangerous vice grip. I have the magic key. I have the desire and drive to kick you in the groin and laugh in your face. Stop trying to send me to your twin, your opposite, your blood brother, because I will laugh at him equally, and it won't cause me any pain to do so. The thing I've needed to tell you is that you are my frenemy. I will keep you closer. I will nurture my bond with you, and I will prevail. I will succeed, and I will reach my goals, as unattainable as they may seem. Although I do not know what I'm going to do in my future, I know that I am going to make a change. I know that I'm going to make a difference, and I will be the guide to anyone that once felt like I did, trapped and alone. I just need you to know that I have broken free through your cold iron cage, and I have transformed it into something beautiful. The gold, glistening gates open at my arrival. The sun shines down on them, and they shimmer and reflect the gentle you, the you that I have always waited for, the you that was meant to set me free from myself. Freedom that was initially guarded and caged by the other side of you. A true conundrum indeed. I just wanted you to know that I have recently discovered hope. I don't know if you sent me hope or if you were just stringing it along to tease me. In either case, I have reached toward hope. Hope is now on my side, and there is nothing you can do about it. Sincerely, me. While I have not yet reached the pinnacle of my goals, I can say that hope grew into faith, and faith grew to certainty. The way my life feels now in comparison to how it felt when I first typed that journal entry is my definition of success. The knowledge that life, universe, God, or whoever else was actually on my side the whole time, helping me to learn how to set me free from myself. It was me who made the choice, and yet it was my soul who was called and has been magnetized to help people who feel trapped by their lives find the freedom and fulfillment they deserve. I'm excited to find out how all of this continues to unfold. And I invite you to take stock of how you're pulled in the directions you're pulled in and why. Until next time.